Who I am is a question for the ages. That's one we're all searching for to find out who I am. Who's in there, who wants to come out and go, hey, I'm hungry. Who I am is too deep and almost, you gotta go in deep and pull out the thing, like with that movie where the thing came out of the stomach and ate up the people on spaceship. May they rest in peace. My name is Ben Sobel.
Psalm 18, 30 through 33.
As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is God save the Lord? Or who is a rock save our God? It is God that girdeth me with strength, and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places.
And that was my friends 3 Days in the Grave with the song My Love for You. And following, I've got 3 items of good news. And it has to do with a $2 million award from the Supreme Court for 2 California churches, one which is in my county of San Diego County, and Cal OSHA rules with mask wearing and what to look forward to in the coming days and next couple of weeks, and religious exemptions from another Supreme Court ruling for religious exemptions. So look forward to that. And after that, I want to play some more killer music from my indie friends. A song called Dusty Bright from my friend Greg Whitstock. Everybody messes up his name. And it's because of the way he spelled it. It is spelled Weitstock, but it's pronounced Whitstock. So his song Dusty Bright, and as well as Kevin Farkas and Imran Ahmed, a song called Populous Control. My friend Ricky Davis, one of his latest, High on This Mountain, a song I really like. And stay tuned for another song. It's a brand new song that has not been released yet, but it is called Angel in My Dreams. And that song hits home with me because I had a dream. And that song, I'm going to play it along with what this dream is that I had about 2 angels. And that was back around 1991. So look forward to that song. I don't have it yet. But Ricky Davis is one of his latest, High on This Mountain. And finally, a song from Shield of Faith, a song called Testify. All right, thank you for joining me again. I'm Michael Tobin, your Lookout Guy. You are listening to the podcast Lookout Guy. And as always, for the past year and a couple of months, I have been offering prayer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From where? The Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Ever since this pandemic has begun, they have received hundreds of thousands of calls and thousands of salvations and healings. You want to call it. We all need prayer, and I myself have even called it. So if you would like to call for prayer, call 1-888-388-2683. That number again for prayer, 1-888-388-2683.
The Department of Justice said in a court filing this week it can, quote, vigorously defend an exemption to anti-LGBT discrimination laws for religious schools amid a lawsuit over funding for such institutions. The filing Tuesday noted that the DOJ's, quote, ultimate objective is to defend the statutory exemption and its current application by the Department of Education, which is being sued by 40 LGBT students. The students who attend conservative religious schools are suing the department for providing funding to colleges and universities that they say have discriminatory policies.
Religious exemptions. This religious exemptions things has been a very controversial thing with schools, universities, ever since I could remember when I started trying to figure things out back in 1989. But the good news is that the Department of Justice, which is affectionately referred to as Biden's Department of Justice, whoever the president, or if you want to call him a president, a cheater president who shouldn't have been president, or the president who was actually elected fairly, whatever the president is who is in office, the DOJ is that person's DOJ. Well, amazingly,
a Christian group of colleges. I don't have time to read the article, but I can tell you where the article is at. Well, the DOJ said that they are going to rigorously defend Christian universities. Because first of all, Christian universities and Christian schools and Christian businesses also, those are private organizations, private groups, but their bylaws are based on biblical values. So the question is what are people that are all these other, anti-spiritual, anti-Christ, or anti-biblical viewpoints doing in schools that are biblical viewpoints? Anyways, there's always a mole, there's always a Jamo, as they say. But as California goes, so goes the rest of the nation. As New York goes, so goes the rest of the nation. And that's concerning the masks. And the whole world is in an uproar with hate crimes, religious exemptions, and things like that. But it is a very big thing that the DOJ agrees that religious universities, mainly Christian universities, because you never hear about the Hindu, the Sikh, the Muslim. It's always Christian. And the Bible says that they don't hate you. Jesus said, they don't hate you, they hate me, which is true. So that is a big thing. I'll go ahead and tell you the article. It's a good article, explains it very well, and it is in The Hill. So go ahead and look up religious exemptions, The Hill, and you'll find that article.
Well, more good news, and I would be remiss to not mention this one. Right now it's Saturday, the 12th of June, 2021, and this news goes back 10 days ago, June 2nd, and the headline from KTLA Channel 5 is California to pay $2 million in church legal fees over coronavirus restrictions. This is really good news, and as I say, as California goes or New York goes, so goes the rest of the nation. But this article, it starts out, the state of California has agreed not to impose greater coronavirus restrictions on church gatherings than it does on retail establishments in a pair of settlements that provide more than $2 million in fees to lawyers who challenged the rules as a violation of religious freedom. A deal approved Tuesday prior to this article by a federal judge comes after lawyers for a San Diego area Pentecostal church took their challenge against the state to the U.S. Supreme Court 3 times and won. And San Diego County is my county, and the same county is where one of these two churches began their arguments. Going forward in this article, the settlement includes a permanent injunction in line with Supreme Court rulings that found restrictions on houses of worship cannot exceed those on retail businesses, attorney Paul Jonah said. If you want to look him up, it's Jonna. If they're going to restrict Costco to 50%, then they can do the same thing to churches, Jonah said. But what they were doing before, as you may remember, is they were keeping those places open and they were shutting down churches, at least in California, completely. The settlement has little practical impact after a Supreme Court ruling led the state in April to lift limits on indoor worship. as the state's case rate of COVID-19 has plummeted since a deadly winter surge and vaccination rates rise. Governor Gavin Newsom is poised to lift all restrictions on June 15th. That's 3 days from now. And I need to add that they always try, mainstream media, KTLA and all the rest combined, they're all with ABC, CBS, NBC, and the rest. They always try to minimize by saying, well, this has little impact. Yes, it does have little impact. It's $2 million worth of impact that our governor cost taxpayers. Anyways, going forward, $2 million. Newsom's office issued a statement saying he put the health of Californians first when he imposed closure orders. It said the settlements provide clarity on how public health standards can be applied to churches. Newsom was the first governor to issue a statewide stay-home order at the start of the pandemic in March of 2020. And by the way, it was on my birthday, March 11th. The very next day, New York did their own thing. His various closure orders and modifications that allowed certain businesses to open at different capacities were challenged in state and federal courts. And another side note, this is why I don't really like reading articles, because I always have to interject, as doesn't everybody on radio. They interject also. But if you want to buy flowers, you go to a flower stand or you go to a flower shop, right? And they don't get anywhere near the traffic, the foot traffic, customer traffic that Costco or your local grocery store gets, who also sell flowers. So everybody, it's not just churches, it's every single mom and pop business that suffered. And these lawsuits are just going to keep on coming. And I predicted it at the beginning. And so did my friend Mark Musier. He's an attorney that began these same types of, and I've had him on previous episodes of my podcast. But they're just going to keep on rolling in and cost states, and mainly my state, California, many millions more dollars, because they keep saying, well, the pandemic caused. No, it is the people that you elected that caused it. And people know that. COVID didn't cause anything. Our governments did with their unelected organizations. So going forward in this article, the public health orders were generally upheld until religious groups won a string of victories after a change in the Supreme Court makeup last year, when liberal Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died and was replaced by conservative Justice Amy Coney Barrett. And here we are with the labels again, liberal and conservative, liberal and conservatives. It just adds to evidence that mainstream media is pitting people against each other in every way: color, race, creed, national origin, political beliefs, social beliefs, one against the other. They do their duty, though. Going forward, while the settlements only apply to restrictions issued for the COVID-19 pandemic, Jana said he does not believe the state would impose harsher restrictions on churches in the future because of the Supreme Court rulings. So it really is a victory. In the last couple of sentences of this article, the settlements involve a federal lawsuit brought by South Bay United Pentecostal Church in Chula Vista, that's southern San Diego County, and Father Trevor Burfitt, a Catholic priest in Bakersfield, and that's about 150 miles away from where I live, who sued in Kern County Superior Court. Lawyers for the Thomas More Society, a conservative public interest law firm, there you go with the label again, conservative, will receive $1.6 million in legal fees in the South Bay case and $550,000 in the Burfitt case. So that's the good news for more religious liberties. And it's not only religious liberties, it's private liberties as well for ma and pop businesses. And get ready for the schools. And that's another story. And finally, the third good news item for this episode before getting on to some more killer indie music from my friends. I'm going to play for you some gobbledygook from our governor, Gavin Newsom. You know, he's nephew to Nancy Pelosi, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. She's the Speaker of the House. And she is also known for gobbledygook or doublespeak. Doublespeak is when you say a whole bunch of things and it is never a complete sentences, and each section of whatever it is that they're saying has nothing to do with the previous or what is leading up to. It just does not make sense. And comedians have for long loved to get laughs from doublespeak. But the good news is OSHA, California OSHA, you know, the Workplace Safety and Health board that is appointed by the governor of the states. They last Thursday, and again it's Saturday right now, June 12th. Last Thursday, Cal OSHA was talking about mask mandates, that masks won't be required for fully vaccinated individuals, and there won't be any more social distancing and things like that. But I'm going to let me play for you the gobbledygook, and then I'll go ahead and read and clarify what KCRAE, which is another Southern California television news station, has to say about it, because it clarifies the new rules and upcoming rules. So here's Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, so look, the OSHA rescinded their old rules. We expect they'll be consistent with the CDC. They put notification of the rescission, or rather, they're putting notification out today of their meeting on the 17th. Then it will be answered. You know where we're going. I anticipate their action will be consistent with the CDC, but they have to make that decision, and I want to respect that process. If I didn't, that would appropriately open us up to criticism, and I want to be fair to that deliberative process. But I'm encouraged, make this crystal clear, encouraged that they rescinded the old decision. I'm encouraged by what I am told about what they will publish this afternoon, and have confidence that they will be moving in a consistent direction with the other directives that have been put out. And we will act accordingly on the basis of that after their decision is made, to clarify any ambiguities or considerations of concern. So hopefully that clears things up on the basis of the transparency of the actions that they will publicize today that they are likely to take on the 17th. Yeah, so look.
Okay, did you understand what he was saying? Well, what he was saying is he's going to respect the process of the Cal OSHA and then the California revealing of what the rules are going to be. And last week, it was already in the news that California Governor Gavin Newsom, he wants to lift all of the restrictions and go back to normal. And that is a complete about-face 180-degree turn from what him and his brains and all of the unelected departments and officials have imposed on California this past year and 4 months. And it has already been pointed out that that is only because he is actually facing recall, a recall and a special election following the recall, governor recall. Last time we had a governor recall was when Schwarzenegger ran in the special election and won. And it's funny because it's like, okay, that kind of showed that aren't we allowed to have a real so-called conservative or Republican governor? He turned out to not be Republican in action, just name only. And now this time, if you haven't heard, you know Bruce Jenner, the famous Olympics multi-winner athlete from the 1970s who I looked up to as a child. He is another story. He was facing criminal charges for the death of a person and injury of a person in an auto accident, and shortly after some court proceedings, then it was threatened that criminal charges will be filed. Well, those criminal charges weren't filed, and you know, desperate people do desperate things, and something may have happened in his psyche from fear of facing prison. Who knows what happens in a person's mind when they think that they may go to prison? What can I do to make this not happen? Well, he did this super outrageous, outlandish thing and began a sex change thing. Well, he is running for governor, and if you listen to his audio clips, he is a real hoot. And everybody is under orders to refer to him as her now, or she. So, where was I going with that? Well, Governor Newsom is facing recall, and it may have encouraged him to say, look, let's get back to normal. As he was saying from the very beginning, we will eventually go back to normal. While conversely, so many others were saying this is the new normal. And in California, the new normal thing was started by the previous governor, Jerry Brown, referring to fires. This is the new normal. We'll always be having fires and all this other stuff. So nationwide and worldwide as California goes, the term new normal, actually it came from Israel, and Jerry Brown had to think of his own, but Israel was this reality, this new reality, or this reality. Well, the new normal is like a thing that began in earnest with Jerry Brown, and now with COVID-19, brainiacs love to use the term new normal. Well, it's not going to be a new normal. It's not a normal, and it is going to disappear because of the people. But on all sides of political spectrums. So that is the good news. Mask mandates. Let me go ahead and read for you this so I could just shut up with my own interjections. Okay, this article,
they're all,
as I scroll, the gobbledygook keeps on going on. I need to press pause. This article is from yesterday,
rules
from K. Cray. Governor Gavin Newsom said Friday that he's confident his workplace regulators will soon fall in line with California's plan to drop virtually all masking and social distancing requirements next week for people vaccinated against the coronavirus. So what we're still anticipating is dropping the masks. The article explains that in places of business, it will be the honor system. People arriving without masks are actually implying that they are fully vaccinated. So are you going to be a star belly? Are you going to show you're a star belly? Or are you going to cover up the star? Or are you going to be a non-star belly and have put a star on just to show that you are of such and such status? It's actually exactly like the famous Dr. Seuss cartoon where you had a bunch of cats in one village that put stars on to show that they weren't as good as the non-stars, and then you go through the machine and everybody wanted to remove those stars, and then the non-star, then the star bellies became the sophisticated ones, and it went back and forth, star belly or non-star belly. But that's what it is, literally another way to divide society. And that's all this whole pandemic thing is. It's not the pandemic that did it. It is our elected officials that did it. So the mask wearing is going to be relaxed, and in the workplace, for now, non-fully vaccinated will still be required to wear masks. But this is Cal OSHA, and then after Cal OSHA, then the governor is going to reveal his plans. And he keeps on saying in line with CDC, so it's going to have to happen at the top. CDC is going to have to say, hey, look, we have now went from whatever percentage of fully vaccinated people to the benchmark, which will put into effect herd immunity, which is that everybody's on their own. And that's another thing. The thing with flus, they start off really, really horrible, and then they mutate into various other strands of the flu, and which the strands are very contagious but not as deadly. And as time goes on, a horrible flu becomes like a cold. And where did this thing come from? Was it malicious or was it not? Our Congress is actually under orders to start investigating whether it was malicious or not and where it came from. So it's a big mess, and it's making a lot of money for people who are in high places of politics. And that's all I want to go with that. But it is trying not to be a downer, but it is good news that the mask requirements are being relaxed. But for some of us, it's who is obeying all that stuff anyways? And I don't want to get into that either. But it has really been a huge pain in the rear. So my suggestion is, if you're a believer or if you're not a believer, ask Jesus into your heart. And I actually have a phone number that you can call for prayer. Who doesn't want prayer? There's a 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week prayer hotline from the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, and that number for prayer, I've called it. It is 1-888-388-2683, and now I'm going to get into some killer music from all my indie friends. And call that number again for prayer, 1-888-388-2683.
Did they say you were weird, Dusty Bright? The other kids, they thought you were never quite right. Although it made you sad, you knew it was them, it wasn't you. Why can't they see who that person is inside? Dusty Bright, you felt the whole world was and you would hear your favorite song, and it just made it all right. Didn't it? Didn't it? Dusty Bride. So you wanted to make your own song with all that you had inside. You learned how to play the music and you worked at it day and night. They paid you no mind, said you wasted your time, but it just felt right, didn't it, Dusty Bride? Passed by as they always do. Your song became the person inside of you, and the spotlight shined on you one night, and the people knew it was Dusty Bride. Now when they're feeling blue, it's your song they listen to, and when they tune into the Grammys one night, you'll hear them announce the name Dusty Bride, Dusty Bride, Dusty Bride. You felt the whole world wasn't right, and you would hear your favorite song, and it just made it all right, all right. Dusty Bride, Dusty Bride. You felt the whole world wasn't right, and you would hear your favorite song, and it just made it all right. Didn't it? Didn't it? Dusty Bride.
Hiroshima left us crying, way too many people dying. Vietnam, another couple million dead, you see, all in the name of democracy. Start a war and no denying, there'll be another million dying. Yeah, that'll work out on World War III. A little shock and gone peace. It's populist control. It's populist control. It's populist control. The government yells it and the media, they sell it to us. It's populist control. It's populist control. It's populist control. You don't care how many bleed, no, to justify your machine. Say you know what we need. So, how many more need to bleed? Now it's history will tell us. A little sickness will expel us. 100 million dead just in 1918. A little virus does it every time. Maybe a war that'll work as we've seen. Kill them all, God will sort it out in between. We can all watch it later over on NBC. They're doing such a fine job. Now they're talking on the late news. Another epidemic passing through. Yeah, the corona is our latest disease. It just started with the Chinese. populist control. It's populist control. The government yells it in the media and they send it to us. It's populist control. It's populist control. It's populist control.
Responded to an outbreak of the new coronavirus. This disease was first detected in China and has rapidly spread and now been detected in 90 locations internationally. 4 cases of the virus are being identified daily in the United States. It's also likely that a sustained person-to-person spread of this virus will continue to occur, that at some point the widespread transmission of the coronavirus in the United States will occur.
The virus did its job, yeah. 500 million people piled up. Shame on you now. This whole time you had the vaccine. Be sure to trust your government. Been a few years since we see the flash now. Sun is long gone. There's just clouds now. Guess I should be glad. Not many lucky as me. No sanctity for common life. Just populist control. It's just populist control. It's just a 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 populist control. Jesus. Well, like a vision, indecision, mental prison. Break free, you gotta break free. Listen up, strike down the infidel you do. 70 virgins don't wait for you. No, 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 no. Reject the system. Embrace Jesus. Intellectual, something sexual, unacceptable. Repent, you gotta repent. Listen up, do what you want to, 'cause it's your life. But don't try to make me say it's alright. No, reject the system. Embrace Jesus.
everybody. This is Mark from Shield of Faith, and you are listening to the Lookout Guy. Amen.
Amen. 2, 3,
chicka-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-